Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather. The IOD Holiday Release is finally here, and this is Create Your Own Cozy. So guys, I'm so excited that IOD asked me again, would I like to pick my favorites from this release and play with it ahead of time in order to get some content out for you? And of course I said yes. There are some dreamy pieces in this release, and I hope you guys get inspired. They are all on sale today with your IOD stockists. Make sure you check with your local stockists today to see if they have the new release. If you don't have an online stockist, go check out my friend Sonnet at sonnetsgardenblooms.com. She sells all the products online. My hope and dream is that by the end of this year, I can also become a stockist, but until then, support your local stockist. And I hope today you get inspired to use this new release for projects around your home for both fall and the holiday season, or get some stuff made to resell in your spaces. Guys, I hope that you get inspired to create. Don't forget to feed that creative spirit inside of each one of you. If you happen to sell it, that's just golden. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with fall in the first project today. I chose the new mold Hello Pumpkin, and guys, the detail on this mold is gorgeous. Now, I had an idea to use this on a basket and thought, you know what, I don't know that I want to try the air dry clay for this. I am going to get out this amazing casting resin that I got. I don't even want to mention how long ago on Amazon and haven't used it yet. So basically, you just do equal parts of each of the formulas, and my trick was finding a paper cup. I had all kinds of plastic cups and styrofoam cups, but they say that you have to mix it in a paper cup, so alas, I had my coffee cup. So you just mix it up together and pour it straight in. You don't need any type of powder or anything when you use the resin, and you just pour it in so that it goes all the way through, and then you watch it cure to the white color. Now, there is a heat that happens when this resin is curing, so you just want to be aware of that. And then about 10 minutes after is what it says that you should do any painting within 10 minutes of it turning white. And you still have the ability to kind of mold it around surfaces if you want to. For the basket, it is a square basket, the one that I'm going to use. So I wasn't so worried about rounding this one. So I'm just mixing up another concoction so that I can do the big one. Really simple to do. I think I might be doing a lot more of this. So after it turned white, I went ahead and painted it with 2 coats of Summer Crush, my orange that I'm going to be using for the fall, and then went over it with some clear wax just because I didn't want any wax to get on the basket. If I was going to do some painting to the basket or even some waxing, that would be great, but I just loved how nice and fresh this basket looked. So I wanted to do all of my stuff prior to gluing it onto the basket. Next, I put some Titebond on the back of my mold. The mold is still a little bit pliable because, again, it had just set, and I taped it to the basket so that it could dry, touching well and with a slight little roundness to it. And I am really happy with how cute this is. I always see these terracotta wine bricks is what I think they're called to keep wine chilled. And I thought that they would look really nice with a mold rounded around it and painted. So I went ahead and started painting this with 2 coats of Little Black Dress, and the paint went on really nice and smooth. I mean, it's a clay-based paint going over a clay pot. You would think that they would work well together, right? So I'm pulling out the final mold that I got out of this release, the Oh Christmas Tree mold. You can see how beautiful each of these branches. Oh my gosh, the end and the detail, it is just really something. It took a little bit of tenderness to pull out these edges, even with the resin that I used in the prior project. So I don't know how well the air dry clay is gonna do in here, but this resin did amazing, and you'll be able to see the incredible detail on here. So while this is still pliable, I am going to glue it on the round shape and tape it down. Now, I did not paint this within the 10 minutes that it said that I should, and quite honestly, I'm not really noticing much of a difference. So that rush to get it painted on the resin, I am not feeling it with the DIY clay. So I'm using Titebond glue here that it worked really well, making sure I get it out to all the branches so that they do not peel up at all on the rounded surface. Then I'm just going to tape it down with my painter's tape, and I did wait overnight just to make sure that that was solid and on there. After that, after it dried, I went over the tree with 2 coats of the same paint I used on the outside and made sure I got it into all the crevices and let that dry completely. Now, I could have gone over this with Big Top, but I kind of wanted that very dull matte finish, so I decided to go over it with dark wax to add a little bit of that brown to the black to make it a nice rich black color. I'm adding a tree that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it is such a nice way to have a taller Christmas tree in your Christmas vignettes. Another option would be to grab some gold and use the gilding wax to go over the tree if you like that black and gold look, but I'm going to stick with just this black matte, and I'm really loving it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on using this black because I love how it's turning out. So I have this cutting board that I thrifted and then an enchilada board that I thrifted. Gonna do 2 coats of Little Black Dress on both of these. I am using my DIY paintbrushes. This one is the Little Dipper, great for these little sample jars. And you would notice that I was using the Perfectionist. I'm just loving these DIY paintbrushes. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have tried them. So I am going over 2 coats, doing the front and back so it's a nice finished product. Then I'm going to wet distress it. I really love the way this black paint looks when it's wet distressed over this raw wood. It is just beautiful. So I'm going to wet distress both of these and then get out the transfer books. Guys, these transfers are amazing. The first one I'm going to show you is the Candy Cane Cottage transfer book. I love the muted colors and the vintage looking Santa. Totally going to be using this in upcoming videos. I didn't get one in today's video. I had to make choices, guys. It was so hard, or else this video was going to be like an hour and a half long. So I decided on that cutie patootie Christmas tree right in the center of this black, now calling it a decor board. So I'm going to rub the transfer on with a transfer stick that comes with each pack of IOD transfers. And then you also want to remember to burnish it and make sure that you use the backside of this transfer paper to make sure it is rubbed into your project. For the other board, I'm going to use the Holly Glen transfer book. Guys, look how cute these little critters are. I mean, it's just going to make everything look so special. And there's fun sizes that you can use on tags or decor boards or ornaments or just frame. So I found my favorite size critter for this little enchilada board. I was trying to get these little mice, but I really ended up liking how the fox looked within here. I wanted to put kind of a square or a rectangle shape inside of the oval just to add some interest. So this is the guy I decided on, and I rubbed him on, burnished him in, and the next step with this is to add DIY's Big Top as a top coat. I did it over to seal the paint and to seal the transfer within the project. Project number 4 was my problem child this week, and it was not because of any of the products I was using. It was because of the piece of wood that I thrifted. I got this from the thrift store, and as you can see, this is after one coat of paint. There's definitely some staining coming through. So I had to go over it 2 different times with Salvation solution to block the stain, and then recovered it again with the color Aviary. I like this as a nice, fun green this Christmas. So it took me a minute, but I finally got it all covered. Thankfully, the Salvation solution is on there, and you'll see that I'm also using the feather paintbrush and my water mister bottle. I use that on a lot of my small projects as well to lower the brush strokes. So here I'm taking some Aviary, mixing in some of the cottage color white paint because there is a top coat built in. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm stenciling it, and I just wanted the color to be just a little bit lighter. I'm using a JRV stencil brush and just offloading the brush a little bit and doing a round circular motion. The stencil is one that I used on a piece of furniture I did a while ago. I think I got it from Michael's or something so long ago, and it has been a nice little piece to use for some interest in the background. So after it's completely dry, I match it up and I finish it, and then I will go over all the stenciled areas. There were some little mistakes, and I just sanded it. That way it had this rustic, aged look to it. And then also, because there was a top coat built into the white paint that I mixed in, when I did the top coat of Big Top over the whole thing, there was not a chance of the design and the stenciled area smearing at all. So that's why I chose to use the cottage color paint to mix in so that it had a top coat built into the design. So here I am sanding it. And then now I'm going to show you the gorgeous Winter Adornment IOD stamp that I got. I really loved the wintry foliage that this one offered, and I also liked how there was a wreath look on here. I noticed that on this sample it was the same stamp used twice, and I wasn't sure exactly how to space it out. So I decided to try it out on my brown paper here. Just stamped it, put it down, and figured out how I needed to place it to make the wreath. And that is when it reminded me, when they overlapped, it reminded me I needed to get the mask out that it came with. And after I do the first stamp, I'm going to put the mask over it so that the stamps don't overlap and look messy. I'm not a big bow girl, but when this was done, I just decided it needed a bow. I grabbed the burlap ribbon that I had gotten a while back from the Dollar Tree, made a little bow, hot glued it on there, and voila. I am so happy with this cute one. In my video 2 weeks ago, I showed you these wooden leaves decoupaged with fall napkins. Both are from Hobby Lobby. I hope you went out and got some. I was inspired, of course, by my friend Kristen at Simply Joy Creations by Kristen. Go give her a follow over on Facebook. She's amazing. But I went over some of these with faded burlap. Some I painted white and some I painted the black color just to have different bases to see which ones I like the best. So I got out the stamps that I got from this release, and I forgot to mention before, when you get new stamps, make sure you season these stamps with 220 grit sandpaper. It just allows for the ink to have some grit to hold on to. So after I seasoned these, I used my Stays On ink and stamped it right onto these leaves. Some of them, the stamp was the star, some it was the background. Then I grabbed my transfers, guys, and did some really cute transfers. I also added some ribbon if you wanted to turn these upside down and hang them to either hang on little knobs like a pegboard knob or even make little ornaments. There are so many ideas. I'm just going to let you watch and see I'm going to kind of speed through because there are a lot of them, but I just had so much fun with these creations. I hope you do as well. Do you guys have a favorite? I would love to know in the comments below. Did you guys have a favorite today? I really love that green decor board with a little bit of stenciling and the stamp on it. I think it was my problem child and it turned out better than I expected. You guys know, if you are creative, that sometimes those pieces you work extra hard on and you have to work for, they have the biggest reward because you get to do a little mini problem solving during your creative time. And quite honestly, isn't creative time just therapy for all of us? It was very therapeutic this week. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite projects are. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do DIY or upcycled thrift flips every Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern. I try to add some extra videos, but I am a mom of 3 who are in school right now. So I do what I can and get to share with you guys when I can. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I know there are a lot of content creators out there, and I am honored that you stopped by to my channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell to all so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Guys, I had fun this week. I hope that you remember to create for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.